Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 201. So, what did you think about this week's chapter? To be completely honest with you guys, I thought this week's chapter was really good. And the reason was because we get to see some of Yoru's most toxic traits, which is manipulation and her jealousy surrounding Denji and any sort of relationship that Denji has with anybody. It could be a non-platonic, it could be just a random stranger in the street, but anybody that seems to be a chick, Yoru feels threatened by, and we definitely get to see that in this week's chapter, and I think it will have big consequences in the next following chapters. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my anime and manga, as well as all my Chainsaw Man content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get to this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off where we see pretty much a random person just kind of being hit by some rocks, and then we find out that it's actually the famine devil, the real famine devil. And we see that this person is being hit by just some rocks. The famine devil is literally just picking up rocks and just like throwing them at strangers. And we find out the reason is because apparently she's trying to bring fear upon them, but she doesn't know that. In reality, she's just giving them anger. She's just making them like mad. Obviously, someone throwing rocks at you, doesn't make you necessarily scared. If anything, just gets you annoyed. And we see at some point even she throws rocks at a literal kid, and the kid, like, I guess it got in the eye or something. And then you see all these people got like mad dogging her, and it's at this point well, we see that pretty much the fallen devil shows up, and she just kind of gives her like hey, you're doing everything wrong. Like, you're actually not supposed to be doing that. You're not bringing them fear. You're just bringing them annoyance. That's not how it works. Let me show you how it works. And she definitely does, because the next panel is literally we catch up with the Chainsaw Man and the fake Chainsaw Man fighting. And we see that, the fallen devil literally sends people towards them, and she's changing, the gravity and everything, like falling. And we see all these people just flying near Denji and the fake Chainsaw Man. And it just looks like chaos. And I do appreciate the second that this is going down, we see that Denji's like, oh crap. Like, he already knows who it is, because, he already fought the fallen devil. And so did Yoru. So they're already accustomed to the theatrics and, her gimmick of, changing pretty much gravity to some sorts. So as all that is happening, we see that pretty much Denji holds onto like, this metal pole to like try not to be flown off. And as that's happening, we see that this lady holds on to Denji's hand, and she's like, oh, like, as she's holding him, Denji just tells Yoru like, hey, Yoru, help me out. And it was at this point, just the way that Fujimoto paneled this sequence, that I knew something was wrong, because as soon as Denji's like, Yoru, please help me, we see that this very sadistic look from Yoru, at least in my interpretation. Well, we see her kind of like be very cold, and you see like the stages of her face as all this is happening. And I like how Fujimoto paneled it out, where you see these three panels, and as all that is happening, we see that the next panel, the next page, pretty much cuts to Yoru literally, she's like, okay, I'll help you out. She literally fires her bang attack at this lady's hand that was holding Denji, or her forearm, whatever, and it's blown away, and the lady just proceeds to like fly off, and she rides off to the sunset, or she just pretty much passes away, whatever the case is, because the fallen devil. And as that's happening, we see that Denji's just like, dude, what was that about? And like, he's confused, and you can tell that he's kind of like, dude, what's the deal here? And the deal is that pretty much Yoru is enjoying this. She's laughing, she's being very hysterical. She's like, oh my gosh, she was like crying when she was flying off, like, oh, that's hilarious, dude. And as all this is happening, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, this is 100% Yoru. This is something that she 100% would do. I mean, a couple of chapters ago, she was just like blasting off people. She has like no sympathy towards others. The only reason she likes Denji is because Asa and herself, their feelings are blend to each other, and she knows that Asa likes him. And like I said, Asa and Yoru, they share their feelings, and why not? So she obviously thinks he's hot, and she likes him. And any sort of competition, even if it's like a random chick from the street, is a threat to her. And that's something that I was not expecting, to be honest. I knew maybe some jealousy, like perhaps like maybe if at one point Reese gets reintroduced to the story, maybe that will bring some conflict. But I never expected a random chick on the street that was fighting for her life, you know, holding onto the Chainsaw Man to pretty much save her. I was never expecting Yoru to do something like that, and I mean, it still shocked me. Like, am I surprised? Yes, but at the same time, I'm not, because it is Yoru after all, and she's a very emotional character in some regards. Like, her actions are very emotion heavy. Like, she's a very reactionary character. That's the word I was looking for. She reacts to things on the blimp. Like, she just doesn't think them thoroughly. She just kind of goes off of her vibes. And that's definitely what she did here. And as pretty much that happened, you even see the fake Chainsaw Man's like, you only rescue her because she was a girl, huh? And then she doesn't answer, but I know that's the reason Denji saved her, obviously. But pretty much how the chapter ends, it ends with the final panel being pretty much Denji just talking to Yoru and be like, you know, you are pretty cute and all, but at the end of the day, you are a devil, huh? And this is where Yoru, you know, replies to Denji, just like, you know, I thought I was the only girl that you were like, you know, have an eye for. Like, you know, you're the only girl you need. And, you know, that's how the chapter ends, in the middle of them pretty much bickering or, you know, having this little exchange with one another. And yeah, I thought that this chapter really showcased now the danger that Denji's, you know, what kind of situation he's put himself on. Because, you know, obviously he's trying to bang, you know, Yoru. I mean, they already made that promise, and why not? And he's willing to do it, you know, defeat the Death Devil and all this. But I think Denji's gonna start to realize, like, maybe I shoot a little bit too much, that maybe a little bit what's that saying, a bit too much that I can shoot, or I forget. But you guys will know what I mean. It's like, I guarantee you that Denji's probably like, man, what did I sign myself up for? Because this is not gonna end well for me. At least that's what I would be thinking right now. It's like, man, this chick is crazy. And I know some guys like that. I'm not one of those guys. So yeah, Denji, he has a lot on his plate, and you know, he obviously has to fight the fake Chainsaw Man, and obviously the Fallen Devil's there. Famine is just being a goofball. You know, she's just kind of being a clown right now. But throughout it all, we see that Yoru is also a priority that he has to take care of, hopefully ASAP, because if she keeps just randomly blasting civilians left and right, that's not gonna be a good look. That's not gonna be something I don't think Denji would be fine with, because, you know, Chainsaw Man is supposed to be like a superhero. That's what he wants. But yeah, the chapter ends in this note, and I'm wondering, like, what's the fake Chainsaw Man gonna do? Because obviously he seems fine, he regenerated or whatever. So I'm very curious to see how that fight plays out with Denji himself, as well as how the Famine Devil is actually going to play out, because for all we know right now, she's just kind of fodder, which is like, I know that she can't be that weak, right? Like, she has to have some gimmick that's very powerful. So I want to see just how powerful she is, you know what I mean? And the Fallen Devil, obviously a big threat, definitely a big threat. They definitely have to team up. Yoru and Denji will have to team up to take that Fallen Devil down, because the last time they fought it, the Fallen Devil ran away. Like, pretty much she got taken care of by the Death Devil, Fami, aka the fake Famine Devil. I just call her Fami. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the Fallen Devil is honestly, to me, at this point in the story, the out of all the threats that they're fighting, the biggest threat, not including the Death Devil, because the fake Chainsaw Man, we still haven't seen just the full capabilities, but we do got an idea of the Fallen Devil. Plus, the fake Chainsaw Man was back there, the one that saved Denji, so, you know, if he could hypothetically defeated the Fallen Devil, he would have. So I'm assuming the Fallen Devil is like above it, you know, in the power scaling. But that's just my own, you know, headcanon. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.